Welcome to the Cyber Savvy Human. My name's Gareth Thomas, and today we are talking about data. What's the most valuable thing that your organization owns? Is it gold? Is it jewelry? Is it cash? That might sound like a pirate's treasure cave, but the boring and most unexciting answer, but the true one, is data. Here are some credentials that we found on the dark web. The dark web is the area of the internet that's anonymized, and that makes it an absolute haven for criminals who like to trade details, like to trade information, and they like to trade all sorts of illegal things. Driver's license details for £15, credit card details for £5, national insurance numbers for just £1. Here's some O2 credentials that were stolen from O2. They were traded on the web, and in fact you can get 7 for the price of 5, which is an absolute bargain. But can you imagine the damage that would happen if your clients' or customers' details were leaked from your organization and made available on the dark web? When you're handling information, it's a great idea to start by classifying it, and that simply means deciding how sensitive that data is. You can choose your own headings, but here are some suggested ones: public, limited, confidential, and highly confidential. So let's take a look at a couple of examples. Say we're working with a new supplier or partner. That's something we might put on our social media site, tell everyone about. That's good news. Let's make that public. There's no problem there. We'll just put it everywhere. But let's say the supplier is going to help us do a big fundraising push in 6 months' time. Well, that's not something we yet want to tell the public, but we will tell all our colleagues in our organization, so we keep it limited. Let's say the contract with the supplier contains some costs and timings. That's not something we need to tell everybody in the organization, so we'll just keep that on a need-to-know basis and classify it as confidential. But let's say there are details of exactly how the marketing will work and how the fundraising scheme is going to take place. We don't want that to get out. That's highly sensitive data. We'll keep that highly confidential. Let's take a look at another example. Guy called Mike, good old Mike, he's fundraising for us. We've checked with him and he's happy that we put his photo all over our social media. Brilliant. It's going to inspire other people to fundraise for us. Good old Mike. We can keep that information public. But Mike's actually from our accounts team. If we made that information public, well, he might be the target for cyber criminals who want access to our accounting systems. So I think we'll just keep that internal. We need Mike's full name, address and date of birth for booking some travel for him, but the whole of the organisation doesn't need to know that, so we'll keep that confidential on a need-to-know basis. And we know that Mike is doing this fundraising because he's passionate about mental health. He's had his own mental health problems, but that information is highly confidential. We really don't want anyone that doesn't absolutely have to know that. It's private and it could upset Mike. Where we've got public information, we don't need to encrypt it. Encryption simply means encoding it or scrambling the data so that only the people we want to have access to it get access to it, and they get access using what's known as a key. So how do we avoid losing data, and particularly losing data through our human beings? A really easy way to lose data is on removable media. A lot of organizations will ban the use of this kind of media. Others will force encryption when we're using it. If it's portable, then it can be lost or stolen. So the advice is try not to use it at all. If you have to use it, then make sure that it's encrypted and that you know where it is. It's really easy to make mistakes when you're sending emails. Here someone's mistyped Lloyd's Foundation to Lloyd's Foundation. The information in that email could end up with the wrong person. So ask your team, ask your staff to take extra care when sending sensitive information outside of your organization. There's a common fraud where people pretend to be one of your suppliers. They will say, oh, you need to pay an invoice. I'm your supplier. Here's some new bank details. They'll ask for data that they're not entitled to. If you do get a call or an email from a supplier, then try and validate that it's genuinely them and ask yourself, why are they asking for this information? Is it my normal contact? Should I be paying them or giving them information? It's not a good idea at all for staff to send information to their home email address. Home email addresses are often shared. They're not as secure as work ones, so you should not be allowing your staff to send stuff to their home email address. The good news is that the government's National Cyber Security Centre has excellent and up-to-date advice and guidance for all sizes of organisation. So take a look at ncsc.gov.uk. That's all for now. See you in the next video.